Okay, so we're going to start the second day of 9-2, kind of based a little bit on yesterday's lesson. So there is a part of the quadratic formula that has a name called the discriminant. The discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So no square root symbol, just b squared minus 4ac. So depending on the value of the discriminant can tell you what kind of answer. So remember, roots is another word for answer. So nature of roots means what kind of answer are we going to get. This is actually pretty easy. Probably might be better just for me to jump in and do a problem. So we're going to go down here, and all we're going to do is compute the value of the discriminant, just the discriminant. So the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 4. So that's 49. So remember, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 4 is 32, but that would be plus 32. So 49 plus 32 is 81. So the value of the discriminant is 81. So here's the deal. Think about your homework yesterday. Like, what happens if you ended up with a number like 81 underneath the square root? If you ended up with 81 underneath the square root, you ended up with two real answers, and they were rational answers because the square root of 81 is a perfect square. It's 9. So we got two real rational. So if the value of the discriminant is a positive perfect square, you end up with two real rational answers. All right, let's do that guy again. So we're going to do b squared minus 4ac. So negative 8 squared minus 4 times an a value of 3 times a c value of 7. So 64 minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 7 is 84. So 64 minus 84 is negative 20. So if you're not quite sure what's going on in this lesson yet, I think about this for a second. What happened yesterday? What kind of answers did you get if you had negative 20 sitting underneath a radical? So the problem was like blah, 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 plus or minus the square root of negative 20 over blah, blah, blah. So what kind of answer did you for sure get if you had a negative number hanging out underneath the square root? Wasn't that imaginary? So we're going to get two imaginary answers. So the discriminant allows me to say what kind of answer it is without telling me exactly what the answer is. You're just describing the answer. I know that the answer is two imaginary answers. All right, so anytime you get any negative number, that means you're going to get two imaginary answers every time. All right, let's try that again. So b squared minus 4ac is all we're doing. So negative 6 squared minus 4 times an a value of 9 times a c value of 1. So we ended up with 36 minus 36, which is 0. I don't think y'all had one like this for homework last night, but we did one on the notes page. Like, what happens if you ended up with blah, 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 plus or minus the square root of 0 over blah, blah? Well, what happens when you add 0 and you subtract 0 is you get one real answer. So anytime the value of the discriminant is 0, you're going to get one real rational answer, because when you add 0, it gives you the same thing as if you subtract 0. All right, let's do one more because there's 4 answers. And so, okay, so here we go again. b squared minus 4ac. So that's 4 squared minus 4 times an a value of 3 times a c value of negative 5. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. But because of the two negative signs, it's 16 plus 60. So the value of the discriminant is 76. So what kind of answer are you going to get if you have, sorry, my paper doesn't move. If you have the square root of 76, that's not a negative sign, that was just if you have the square root of 6 hanging out underneath your radical, well, the square root of 76 is a real number, right? It's not imaginary, it is a real number, but it's an irrational number. So you're going to get 2 real irrational answers. So if you get a positive number, but it is a non-perfect square, you're going to get 2 real irrational numbers. All right, video number 1 done.